want to start us off just a few minutes early and mention some things on a personal privilege. We're glad to have our attorneys. We're glad you're here. We thank you. Everything goes with the superlative. You could just count that without me. Can't remember all of them. But anyway, we're glad to have you. I want to thank the board for our letter that we sent to all the people with the Farm Service Agency. Excuse me. That has already begun to work. We have a new county director, and we're proud to have him. And the other thing I would mention is we lost some soldiers last week. We don't make the policy where they work or where they fight, but we make the policy here, but we don't make policy in our country, but in our world. But sad to say that they've had 7 or 8 lost their life, and I would think that everybody should think about people that's in the military that put their name on the line every day. I thank them. Anybody got anything else you want to say? I'll call us to order. Mr. Crutchfield, I ask you please, please.
Oh, Lord, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for the rain that we've been getting and the real drought that we're having. We thank you for our county. We thank you for our citizens in the county. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Mr. Dean, carry on.
Ms. Westbrook, we don't have any additions or deletions from the agenda.
And I'll offer a motion that the agenda be approved as included in the packet.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the agenda. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign, carries unanimous. All right, go ahead.
Ms. Westbrook, under section 1, the first item that we have is the recognition Fire and Rescue Public Servant Awards. I believe the VFW is here to do that recognition.
Morning.
Morning.
So Tyler Schaefer, normally talking to you guys as procurement officer, but I'm here representing the VFW today. So each year, the Veteran of Foreign Wars Post selects emergency medical technicians, law enforcement, firefighter, dispatcher personnel to receive VFW Public Servant Awards. VFW Post 12046 has selected firefighter EMT Austin O'Neill to receive the VFW National Firefighters Public Servant Citation, and Division Chief Johnny Paget to receive the VFW National Emergency Medical Technician Public Servant Citation. Austin's dedicated service to the Jackson County Fire Rescue Department and Chief Paget's commitment to the proactive community paramedic program reflect the level of service that we value in our county. The importance of this award is to recognize the efforts of those responsible for public safety. For veterans, this recognition carries special meaning because when we leave our families and friends to serve, we trust that dedicated first responder personnel like Austin and Chief Paget are safeguarding our communities with professionalism and courage. Oh, and then, yeah, Austin O'Neill is out on a call right now, so he can't.
He could be here. The Veterans of Foreign Wars always would like to present also my personal drill sonic horn. On one side, they have training our nation finest soldiers. On the back of it, this we will defend. And I like to present it personal to the ones that okay. And on my airborne horn, it says United States Airborne. Okay. Also the one that is absent. Okay. And I just want to thank you personal for your Spanish chief.
We thank you for that in the deepest of ways. I appreciate every one of you served in the armed forces more than you'll ever know. Yeah.
Next item, Mr. Westbrook, is recognition of employee of the quarter. I believe that, is Sarah here? Oh, okay.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning.
For our Employee of the Quarter for Q1 for 2026, I would like to recognize one of my employees, Miss Erin Schaus, paramedic firefighter for the Fire Rescue Department. If you could come up here. And while she's coming up, I'll go ahead and tell you why we recognized her. Chief Maddox, Deputy Chief for Fire Rescue, wrote that said that Erin Schaus displays impressive competency in her role as a paramedic firefighter. Erin consistently provides exceptional advanced medical care to patients and demonstrates impressive medical knowledge and skills during high stress and high stakes medical and fire calls. It is quite challenging to pick a single value she exemplifies without doing her an injustice, as she consistently displays integrity by standing up for her colleagues, unselfishness by handling tasks without being assigned and not seeking credit, listening to others in the team and incorporating their ideas into her strategy for patient care. She is enthusiastic and positive and brings a healthy sense of humor to the workplace. Over the last year, Erin has been challenged with complex critical medical and trauma cases that require immediate decisions and decisiveness without the luxury of expert consultation, requiring expert skills with advanced medical procedures, and she has tackled these challenges while remaining humble. Erin has been highly effective at orienting and coaching new and inexperienced staff, helping them become more effective team members and building their confidence. So for Employee of the Quarter, Q1, we'd like to recognize Ms. Erin Schaus.
Mr. Chairman, while they're taking pictures, I'll offer a motion to approve Ms. Schaus as the employee of the month for the first quarter of 2026. Authorize a check in the amount of $200 and authorize you as the chairman to sign. And personally would like to congratulate Erin for this well-deserved honor.
I'll second it. Have a second, motion and a second to authorize that. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Thank you. We appreciate you very much. Carry on.
Mr. Westbrook, the next item in section 1 is request from the board to approve by resolution the local mitigation strategy for Jackson County. It's done every 5 years. It's been reviewed by the Florida Division of Emergency Management, FDEM, and now they have, staff is recommending approval and adoption by resolution of our local mitigation strategy.
Yes, I move.
Have a motion, have a second to accept. All in favor, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Carried unanimous.
Mr. Westbrook, we have no public hearing. Jumping down to section 3 under community development, we have a request for board approval of alcoholic beverage licensing for racetrack out on 71 and I-10 interchange. It is recommended for approval.
Chairman, I'll offer a motion to approve the alcoholic beverage license for the racetrack incorporated number 2700.
Have a second.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to authorize for the beverage license. No discussion. All in favor, raise your right hand.
I noticed, Mr. Dean, that they're moving along on construction pretty rapidly. Do we have an idea when they think they might complete that construction and be open for business?
Mr. Donifro, Kim, we don't have a timeline for final completion.
It looks like they're getting pretty close out there.
Look like long.
Yeah.
Unanimous. Move along.
Okay, Mr. Westbrook, moving into section 4 under the consent agenda. We have A, B, C, D, and E, pay the bills, approval of minutes, approval of right-of-way use, purchase of the, capital purchase of the, patch truck for road and bridge, as well as the licensing program signature for the, Microsoft licensing for Jackson County. We're asking for approval of the consent agenda.
Take all four of them at one time.
Yes,
That pleasure of the board.
Before we do, the patch truck, Jeffrey, I talked to you, is this the patch truck that you and I discussed?
Yes,
Yes, at the ALPC TAC meeting?
yes.
Okay. And it's within the budgeted amount because we had budgeted, a much higher, amount for a different unit, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
we're under budget $71,572.
First trip is Highway 165 between Greenwood and Boston. We'd appreciate to get it before it tears all to pieces.
So, Chief, I'm sorry. Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Do we not have a patch truck now? Is it not operational? Okay. Okay, thank you.
I'll second the motion. When do we think that we'll have this patch truck delivered and operational? If I miss that, we,
It's sitting in Mobile.
okay, so pretty quickly then.
Yeah.
Very good.
Is it our responsibility to go get it or theirs to bring it to us?
What goes out later this afternoon.
Uh-huh. So you're gonna run and get it Saturday morning? We'll assume something. All right, all in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Move along.
Mr. Westbrook, the next item on the agenda is request board approval of a standby agreement for a public event at Decker Training Facility, a motocross track. We're asking for board approval of that standby agreement, and it would be for two ambulances at $200 an hour.
Got that, man? Good.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve it.
Have a motion to approve. I have a second.
A second.
Got a second by Dr. Spire. All in favor, signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, unanimous consent. Go ahead.
Mr. Westbrook, the next item is another standby agreement. This would be for the Circle D Ranch Rodeo, and it is for one ambulance for, two days at 3.5 hours per day. It's $1,400. So we're asking for board approval of that standby agreement.
I'll offer a motion to approve the agreement, for public service ambulance standby at Circle D Ranch, for the Big Dog Rodeo. Authorize you as chairman to sign.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve. Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by right hand raised. All opposed, unanimous consent. Move along.
Mr. Westbrook, the next item on the agenda is a one-year maintenance agreement for equipment in our ambulances, the stretcher maintenance agreement, stretcher system maintenance, and cardiac monitors. This is 1 year agreement. It's being paid. It is a budgeted item, and we're using core dollars. There's regular budgeted item.
Move approval.
We have a motion to approve, second by Commissioner Bryant. All in favor, signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, the same signs. Unanimous consent.
This is a company, Extreme Land Restoration, that we've worked with in the past. I thought we've got a current contract with them somewhere.
On ambulance equipment.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was on the wrong item.
Next one.
Yeah.
We're ready to.
I forgot, left my phone. Little.
Vote.
Hammer.
Yeah.
Hammer.
Vote.
You,
We get
any
those.
question? Any
I actually
discussion?
asked a question, but it's actually on the next item.
Okay. All in favor, signify by raising their right hand. All opposed, same sign.
Ready for the next item?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
The next item, Mr. Westbrook, is number 5. This is, requesting board approval of the Euless Bridge repairs. We're ready to close out that project, asking for allow the board to execute the necessary documents for closeouts, certificate of completion, as well as other closeout documents. This was a BSCOP funded project by the Department of Transportation, and it is complete. Staff is satisfied with the work, and we're ready to close out.
Anybody in here understand where Euless Bridge is, Dr. Spires and I?
Mayor?
Yes, sir.
This is a wooden bridge, is that correct?
Yes.
The repair was as wooden. Okay.
Let me
Wasn't
down.
extended width or length, right? Same dimensions?
Right.
Okay.
You about to let me down, not sure. You-
Chairman, I move approval.
Move to approve, second. Right.
Exactly.
Mhm. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Move along. Finish out on Euless Bridge, right there on the Alabama line.
Mr. Westbrook, the next item, item number 6, is request board approval of the Realtor Services. If the board will remember, a couple of months ago, authorized us to do an RFQ for Realtor Services. We did so. We had several people make contact with us about the RFQ. We thought we were going to have several provide a proposal, but we only received one from Chipola Realty. And so we're asking for board approval of the recommendation to award to Chipola Realty.
What's the board's pleasure?
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Move along.
Mr. Westbrook, the next item on the agenda is request board approval, change order for Jackson County Museum. This is, extending the time for the completion date for the museum project, and it adds funds back to the project. The extension of time is 92 days, which would make the contract completion date the same as the grant agreement expiration date. And the reason for the add back of dollars is we did the direct purchase on the windows and doors. And since we did the direct purchase, we're adding that, taking that money out of the contract.
Questions?
Is there a liquidated damage clause in that contract at all?
What was that, Mr. Spires? No, there is not.
It's not, okay, so
No.
this is not affected at all.
Not at this time. We haven't reached the final. Go ahead.
No, sir. I don't believe there was a liquidated damages provision, and this is just the first go round of this one. There's another one that's got like a 5th amendment, but this is.
Okay, right, thank you.
Commissioner Arbro, you want to speak?
I was just gonna offer a motion to approve the change order.
We'll take that.
Now second.
Well, motion and a second to approve. All in favor, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Move along.
Mr. Westbrook, the next item is the requesting board approval of Amendment 1 to the Florida Department of Environmental Protection grant that we have for the adaptation planning. This is being done by Dewberry. We're not changing the time of the grant or the time of the agreement or the contract. All we're doing is changing the time within the contract for them to complete one of the tasks within the adaptation plan. So again, we're not extending time. We're just changing the time of one of the tasks within the contract.
Am I the only one in here that don't understand what adaptation is?
No, sir, probably not.
Okay.
Well, there's two.
I would for one like to know.
Mr. Rich, you want to jump in on that one?
So the short version is, Florida Department of Environmental Protection has funded various grants across the state for engineering firms to perform stormwater analysis for low-lying areas or critical at-risk facilities, for local governments or in the event of public need. So it incorporates municipalities, hospitals, schools, things of that nature, as well as other critical infrastructure such as water wells, lift stations, and things of that nature, bridges, all of this sort.
And I'm gonna jump in on that just a little bit now that I've got my feet under me.
You got it. You're
there-
recognized.
This should coincide with our local mitigation strategy, which identifies, where we're vulnerable within the county as it relates to bridges and things of that nature. And this may involve a little bit of design with one of these projects.
So many of these projects will, at the end of the adaptation planning, they'll give us budget numbers that we can incorporate into our local mitigation strategy. Our next LMS meeting, I believe, is in August. And so we'll be able to add it to the countywide LMS list to be submitted to the state. And then as mitigation funds are released from various disasters, we'll have a kind of blueprint to go off of these projects.
You're gonna include Euless Bridge up there as well.
Well,
Can't get
it's
it
good
first.
now. Yes.
Got a motion by Dr. Spires, is that right?
Second.
No, second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Any other discussion? Move along.
Okay, Mr. Westbrook, this is associated with the Endeavor Housing Project, the 280 acres on Booster Road. We have an agreement that was executed a while back to purchase approximately 280 acres for $837,000. The company was actually bought by another company, which we know is Lennar at this point. The timeframe for them to close on the original agreement was several months ago. They asked for a 30-day extension at the end of that agreement. We've granted it. We've also granted 3 additional on top of that original extension. And now they're asking for a 5th extension. They came over a couple of weeks ago and they met with us and they expressed the desire to continue to move forward with this project. Whenever we closed on this, they deposited $25,000 into an escrow account, which after, I think it was 60 or 90 days, that money was no longer their money. It was part of the escrow. And we would, if they couldn't close on it for reasons that if they couldn't close on it, then that money would become ours. If we couldn't close on it because of some title policy or something, then they would get that money back. So the $25,000 has been sitting in the account ever since we closed on the deal. Whenever the property or whenever the purchaser completed their due diligence, which would have been annexing the property into the city, completed a preliminary plat and several other things, then they were to have deposited additional $25,000 into an escrow account. Well, it has there's never been a preliminary plat completed. So the threshold for depositing the second $25,000 has not been met. However, there was additional clauses in the agreement that if they asked for an extension, then they would put additional $10,000 into the escrow account. And if they asked for a second extension, they would put another $10,000 into the escrow account. Well, they hadn't done that. But in conjunction with this proposed extension, which is for 12 months, they have agreed to put $25,000 into the escrow account. So the short version of this amendment is it's the 5th amendment. It would they agree to put an additional $25,000 into the escrow account, and in exchange we would extend the contract for another 12 months. In our discussion, we talked about the housing market is not what it was 6 or 8 months ago or 12 months ago, and they are still, I know that they're moving forward with some work because we've met with their engineers on multiple occasions. But again, they are asking for a 12-month extension.
So basically what you're telling us in a nutshell is we have nothing to lose but everything to gain.
That is correct.
What's the board pleasure? Go ahead.
Actually, if they don't meet that, we get the $25,000. All we're doing is prolonging, but we think we ain't got anything else going on that project other than that. So,
And it would be 50,000, because if y'all agree to this, we would now have 50,000 in escrow.
well, we'll be making a little money by giving an extension, and, may put them in a situation that they pull back out. Then we gotta look for another builder or something, they probably, I think, we ought to go ahead and do the extension. That we're not gonna lose, we're gonna make a little money, just don't get no houses to build.
Well, yeah, and I agree in part with what Commissioner Crutchfield was saying. I met with the developer, Lenora, with Mr. Dean, I guess it was the week before last. And, as he stated, we've extended by 30 days a number of times their agreement. I'm certainly not opposed to extending it one more time and at a longer time period. I'm a little bit hesitant to extend it a full 12 months. Jim, has there been any other housing developers that have contacted you and expressed any interest in this?
I would be lying if I said there was only one. There's been more than one, but at the same time, I mean, we have no information or anything that would validate how strong they are or anything like that.
Well, a year to tie that property up. Again, I understand that, I met with them and I understand that they're concerned about being able to sell those houses, basically construct them and sell them. They've looked at basically economic development in this area, and they've got concerns about the number of jobs that are being created over the next in the future. And one of the things that I pointed out to them is that, we've been very active in economic development. And one of the things that's always held us back has been our workforce. And one of the things that's complicated our ability to gain workforce is the fact we don't have affordable housing in the area. And so it's been kind of a chicken and the egg type thing. And again, I'm not opposed to giving them another extension and lengthening the time of that extension. I've got a little hesitancy in going a full 12 months. I would prefer to maybe do it 6 months and still have the same $25,000 requirement.
Well, you already have their money, so it's locked into a position, if I understood what your explanation. So I don't see where 6 months or 12 months will make a lot of difference. Now, I respect, and with all due respect, I accept what you're saying, and not an argument there for that. I just, the housing market everywhere is downturned, not only in our area, but in bigger areas than ours. So I would say that at the same time that maybe I don't see any reason to change it. 6 months will be here in no time, and for us old people anyway. And then the next 6 months will be the same way, but surely they'll make a move during the second 6 months of that, during the 12 months of that to move. Now, I can't read their mind, but I accept the fact that we have their money and don't look like they're gonna get that back unless they, agree with the agreement that they made. They made all those agreements. And
So the second $25,000 would not become the county's dollars until after 12 months. That's right.
So this additional earnest money deposit that's set forth in the amendment or the amendment, Fifth Amendment, it becomes ours essentially once the original period has expired. So if they don't close within the 12-month period, then we would receive that money on top of the $25,000 that's set out in Section 5.
And if we were to modify it to 6 months with the same terms, if they were to agree to that, then we'd be waiting for 6 months. And if they didn't close on the property after 6 months, that $25,000 would become county property as well.
Correct.
That's just the new terms.
Assuming they agree to that, yes. That's correct, Commissioner.
go ahead.
if they, you'd have to see if they would agree for the 6 months, 25. If they would agree, I would be able to go along with the 6 months, but if they won't agree, I think I would agree to go with 12 months, but then tell them at the end of the 12 months, if they hadn't did anything, then we're gonna have to look somewhere else.
That's not a bad way to do it. Go ahead.
Well,
Right.
you know, I'm a little hesitant about the 12-month thing, but I don't know. I've been noticing Bay County is increasing jobs more and more and more, new jobs created. And they're gonna run out of land down there to build houses. So I think, and they can't go south, so they gotta come north. I think the demand for the home building will probably come our way within the next 6 to 12 months. And maybe before. But they're gonna have to have some housing, and really not that far for somebody to live here and work Bay County.
That was really the whole idea of what originally led them to that site, was the fact that it's, you know, adjacent to I-10, so that if they're working,
Right.
if they're working in Tallahassee, or they're working in Defeatiac Springs or in Bonifay, it's an easy, you know, trip to the interstate.
Dothan or Tallahassee.
To Dothan or Tallahassee will found myself. Say, so it's a centralized location within a much larger regional area that provides you know, jobs within that area.
I don't have a problem with it if with the 12 months, if they're going to invest 25 or 50.
They've already invested 25, that's ours.
It will be
Yeah.
50 in it.
And not only that, but another thing that I will point out is, and Jim alluded to it, is the fact that we've seen the engineering work that's been done on that site. There's been a lot of dollars expended on their part in the way of preliminary engineering with the engineering firm they've hired. So in addition to the 25 and the additional potential 25, they probably got that plus probably more than that involved in the engineering that's been done specific to that site as well. So they've got an investment in it. And because of that investment, they've got they've got they've got invested time into it.
Right. Well, and that makes it a little more clear.
I just, you know, we've been given a $4.5 million or $4 million job growth grant in conjunction with that to pave Percy Road. And I just want to be sure that, you know, with all of the time and goodwill that we've invested in that project, that we get something at the end, you know, that makes it worthwhile.
Yeah.
I suggest, yes, sir, Dr. Spire, go
I
ahead.
apologize. I'm just really
No.
not clear on the reason for the extension. I'm a little bit puzzled.
In meeting with the contractors, the developer, Mr. Spires, the soft housing market, it's slowed down considerably over the past 6 to 12 months. And, you know, it's just a big step for them to develop 280 acres. And so they want to be able to sell them once they start developing the property. So soft housing market is probably the primary thing, Mr. Spires.
Their first phase, as I understand it, of course, I think the entire development, Dr. Spires, is like 1,300 units, which is a huge, would have huge impact. But I think their first phase is like 75 units is what they planned to build originally. And then I think they've even got a phase 1A and phase 1B. And I think initially they would, you know, probably construct, I think they said like 25 units originally. So still, that's a pretty big impact on the local housing market.
Okay, now is that part of the affordable housing? Do they have some segments set aside for that would be classified as affordable housing?
Yes, sir. And I believe that, in my opinion, the affordable housing is also workforce housing. You know, young people just don't have you know, very difficult for them to purchase or build a home. But yes, it's affordable / workforce housing.
Mr. Sherman,
Yes, sir.
I make a motion that we give them the 12 months, but also put a clause there if they don't start something within the end of the 12 months, that we don't want to look some further, another contractor.
Of the second enough.
Got a motion and a second to allow them a 12 month extension. All in favor signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, the same sign. That does it, right, unanimous consent. Do we have something else?
No, sir, that's all that's on the agenda, Mr. Westbrook.
Okay, so I want to reiterate one more time about our attorneys. We're glad to have you. We appreciate you coming. We appreciate you wanting the job, Mr. Brandt.
Go ahead, I just.
No, that's fine. That's
Got
enough.
a couple of things.
I can't do it all at one time.
First thing, I want to purchase some stop signs for, Peacock Bridge Road. One to be on Peacock Bridge in 73, and one to be on Peacock Bridge in 71. I'll pay for them out of my funds.
Are those where they terminate, where Peacock Bridge Roads terminates?
Yeah.
Just a lot of
Oh,
ones,
yeah,
instead of the ones in the very.
Yeah.
And there is a turnoff involved in both those roads that I made happen about 25, 30 years ago. Where the truck can not have accidents and run over people.
Both
Not
ends
that,
of Peacock
not that
Bridge.
that's got to be in the record.
Have we closed on that Peacock Bridge property?
Yes, we're the proud owners of that property, right, Brett?
Sorry,
The Peacock Bridge property.
landing
We
is,
closed on that.
oh, yes.
Go ahead.
One other thing,
Right.
I know we spent quite a bit of time last meeting on the tree ordeal over here. I got a call this week from a resident or citizen, and he made a lot of sense. He suggested that if we have to cut the tree down to plant another tree there, and I'm not talking a 2 foot, I'm talking about 16, 18 foot tree, 15 foot, plant a tree there and put a plaque for Mr.
Bellamy?
Bellamy.
He thought better.
Put a plaque there, and then we could have. When we were talking about it last week, I probably had the wrong tree in mind. I thought it was on this side of the courthouse. So if it's on that other side, when I finally figured that out,
All you gotta do is look straight up, you see it's dead.
if we put 2 or 3 monuments over there, it's gonna be pretty quite crowded on that corner. I like this idea of planting a tree there, putting a monument plaque there for Mr. Bellamy, and then maybe on this side of the walkway, put something for the court. Way it would everything all be in one spot.
Yeah. I like that
I
idea.
don't think to get me in trouble every time though.
Again, I just want to be sure before we cut that tree down, because it's a very historical tree that, we're sure that that's what needs to happen.
I think
It's
Mr.
dead all the way to the top.
I think Mr. Daniels has got some updates on the.
So I did reach out to 2 additional arborists as recommended, requested by the board at the last meeting. One sent a report Friday morning with the same evaluation due to age and deterioration recommended to be removed. The third arborist should be here, I believe the 15th, early next week, and would have a report back, shortly thereafter. So, one of the issues or concerns I would have with removing the existing and planting back, we probably want to put the new one on the opposite side, which will be the east side of the sidewalk, just so we're not battling any of the existing roots. So we could grind down the stump of the existing tree once it's removed, put the slab there for the sculpture, and then plant a new tree on the opposite side. That's just a hope a little bit.
Not quite follow. So in other words, once that tree goes down, we grind the stump, we put the sculpture at that location where the old tree was.
Yeah.
And then plant a new tree on the west side of that,
Well, it'd be on the east side, so it'd be symmetrical.
east side of the sidewalk?
The walkway.
Yes,
Okay.
Is there room there?
yes, sir. It's just open file bed right now. There's not a tree on this side of the sidewalk.
Well, I thought it was a good idea when it was explained to me. I mean, that's what the whole thing's about, it's the tree, him planting the tree.
Yes, sir.
And, I like that idea of not planting a good sized tree. and then having the plaque by the tree, and then whatever the sculpture is, we decide on about the courthouse.
Well, you know, one of the things that I had mentioned is that that building is a very symmetrical building, and one of the things that I always had a problem with is when you look at that north elevation, to have some symmetry there. Whatever we do on the west side of that sidewalk, we have some balance, some symmetry with what we do on the east side. And you,
I don't imagine they was worried about that. You know, don't you imagine when they planted those live oaks? I mean, that's a long time ago.
what's that now?
I said, I don't imagine they was worried about all that back when they planted it.
I don't know. I think they.
With all due
I mean,
respect.
you look at the way that those oak trees are, they're very symmetrical, especially on this south side. What's happened is trees of, you know, we lost some trees as a result of hurricanes, but I think originally was a very symmetrical. Yeah.
So potentially plant a second tree over there once we grind the stump up. Have a tree on both sides
So
of
that
the
you still
wall.
have some symmetry on both sides of the sidewalk. And add the plaque, to recognize Mr. Bellamy.
My suggestion would be after you get the tree moved, then look at it and make a decision there would be better, but it doesn't matter to me. I think that anybody can't look at that tree and say it's dead. They hadn't seen many trees.
Well, I just know that I've
Yeah, all the way to the top.
I've had a lot of calls from people saying, please don't remove that tree. And I want to be able to say, we've had 3 arborists look at it. Every one of them said that it's dead or dying and, needs to be removed.
It's dead all the way to the top. Probably lightning hit it, but we'll never know. But anyway,
So can we get a copy of that third report when it comes in?
your mic ain't working, or it's not on one.
Also been in contact with the sculptor about some ideas. I know we've had the other recommendation come in at the last meeting, so we've sent some renderings and he's got some concerns with just having enough tree trunk, having enough, you know, to do the sculpture out of, so I have to reevaluate that as well, so.
I have a little concern about making those wood sculptures. They're gonna rot.
They do, they do have a lifespan, so we did have one done after Hurricane Michael. It was placed at Citizens Lodge, very similar, we had a concrete pad, it was secured, and over time, out in the elements, even with sealer and other precautions, I think we got about 5 years out of it, so, that is something to keep in mind.
Well, I bought one from that sculpture. And it's beautiful, but it's rotten.
Yes.
I mean, it's split and it's rotted. And I put sealer on it, I don't know what all I've done to it, and it's rotted.
I think the pine trees probably hold up better than the oak trees.
I don't know.
I mean, it seemed like, you know, I'm sure it has something to do with the type of wood, but there's one across from Chipola that's been in place for, and I think it was carved out of pine. I don't know if it was the original stump or not, but it looks like it's in pretty good shape still.
I think it's the second one, Mr.
Oh, is
Jones,
it?
right? I think
Maybe.
so.
Maybe.
With all due respect, that pine one would rot just as quick as that.
So let's get stump ground, grind the stump, and then we'll come back and decide what we're gonna put there. If the third arborist says it's a dead tree.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
May I request that
Right.
we first read what those should pass in the previous meeting in regard to that situation? I think we had a motion and a decision that was made last meeting, did we not?
Amend the motion, or I'll just take the motion as it started from Commissioner Chris.
Go ahead and read, she's got it.
Okay.
Use the NAACP proposal from the American flag to keep up Bellamy, planting an oak tree along with an inscription potentially modified. The motion was amended to add Lady Justice with the scales of justice. The motion was further amended to add that a total of 3 opinions will be obtained to determine if the tree is or is not salvageable, and if the stump would be suitable for the sculpture. Lastly, a rendition of the logos will be submitted to each committee. The motion carried 4-1, Donna for opposed.
We struggling to hear you, all of us old men up here. If you get a mic, I would be very much appreciated. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, well, just holler in it. You need to.
A motion was made by Commissioner Spires and seconded by Commissioner Crutchfield to choose the NAACP's proposal of the American flag with Aesop Bellamy planting an oak tree, along with an inscription potentially on a flag. The motion was amended to add Lady Justice with the scales of justice. The motion was further amended to add that a total of 3 opinions will be obtained to determine if the tree is or is not salvageable, and if the stump would be suitable for the sculpture. Lastly, a rendition of the logos will be submitted to each commissioner. The motion carried 4-1, Donna Fro opposed.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so it appears now that we just gotta arbitrarily make a decision to change the original motion. I don't think that's appropriate.
I think it's probably about the same motion.
You think so?
It'll
I
be
mean,
close.
it said put a flag with the tree, for the NAACP request. I'm just saying the plaque plus plant a tree there, and put the plaque with the tree that we're planting.
So all the plus is adding the trees.
Yeah,
right?
basically, that's all.
I just heard so many different discussions that will take us a totally different direction from what the original motion was. I want that to happen. It should not happen.
I don't know why we didn't really think about the tree, replanting a tree last week.
Yeah. I know your addition that you suggested and I added to the motion was to, the justice.
The both of them.
Right.
More I think
So you're
about
not
it,
changing the nature of the motion.
Go
the
ahead.
more I think about it, gonna be a lot in that corner over there if we put everything in that corner. Cause there's already 2 or 3 memorials over there
So are we talking about moving to a different location?
across the sidewalk.
Wouldn't that,
Well, that's
would
what,
that not entail a change, in motion?
that's what, Mr. Daniels is saying, to put it over there because of the stump being there to plant a tree right where that stump is.
But that would involve a change, would it not, Mr. Daniel?
It could, that's why I wanted to bring it up, but
Yeah.
I just double checked with the Google Earth, and there is an additional monument on the east side that may already be in conflict, so my fear is planting, it'd take a massive excavation to remove the root system of the tree that's being removed to ensure the longevity of the new tree that's being planted, so I was trying to identify an alternative.
So you think it's clear to plant it on the east side of the sidewalk?
There, I'm not sure what this monument is, but there is a, statue of sort already in the location that I was referring to, so that would be an option. No, sir.
Mr. Chair, can we just get the tree down and grind the stump and right now, as I understand the motion that was approved at the last meeting, we would provide a rendition of a carving for both Mr. Bellamy and the Lady Justice to the Board of County Committee.
Mr. Crutchfield, you recognize?
I think that, planting another tree is a good idea, but putting it where the other tree is not a good idea, because they still gonna be roots way on down, it's not gonna get out. It needs to be in undisturbed soil to for it to life. I would say I'm for that, plus go ahead with the statue where the, like, was planned, and put there where the old tree was. But then put another tree somewhere a little farther away. In undisturbed, dirt. So I think to make the tree live,
You're right.
it's gonna have to have its own brand new dirt.
Most likely that'll be.
If I understand what Ms. Marie, just read, is that the motion was approved at the last meeting that we would have 2 statues, carvings. One would be of Lady Justice and one would be of Mr. Bellamy planting a tree with the American flag in the background. And that's, and then on top of that, we get 3 opinions and we, come back and y'all would agree to cut down the tree if all 3 of them come in that it's, dead tree.
Right.
And then once we cut it down, grind the stump. In the meantime, I would provide the commissioners with a rendition of those statutes.
And the court system has agreed to pay for both of those.
They've agreed to pay for Lady Justice only so far.
I don't think that all 3 agreeing was a part of the motion requiring to remove it.
Say that
I
again.
don't think that we said that all 3 arbiters had to agree that the tree be removed, but it was dead. I don't think that was part of the motion, was it?
No, sir, just get 3 opinions.
Right.
Three opinions to see if it could be saved or can't be saved.
Right, but I thought I heard Mr. Dean say that if all 3 agreed that it would need to be removed.
Yeah,
I
right.
don't think we said that in the motion.
Well, the motion still could stand, you just add a motion to put a tree
But, yeah,
later, you know, after all that taken down, a new start.
And we'll have that report next week.
I think the only thing I'm saying is add a planting of a tree.
Right. That could be another
I
motion.
don't have a problem.
Well,
with
that's well said.
So let us get the 3 opinions back to you at the next meeting and go from there. But as it stands right now, we plan to put the 2 carvings on the site.
I really think we need to think about that carving.
Yeah, I do too. I'd like to, as I said, I'd like to see what that's gonna look like before I agree to it, and I'd like to also know how it's gonna get paid for. The courts, as I understand it, agreed to pay for 1. I don't know what that cost is, but I know
Approximately $8,000 for the 1.
and I'm just assuming that, 2 would be another $8,000.
We haven't asked yet because we don't have a price yet until we get beyond the removal of the tree.
Well, let's get I'd like to say, let's get the 3rd arborist report. If it, comes back and says that the tree is dead or dying and needs to be removed, and then we can take action on that at the next month's meeting and,
Yeah.
make some decisions.
If it's not in,
Mr. Chairman,
go ahead.
what I subtly keep hearing is they get the 3rd person report. What if 2 people say it needs to be removed and 1 said it doesn't?
Majority rule.
I didn't think that was, but that's what I'm having some problems with. That wasn't part of my motion,
Stand.
so my motion's being altered.
Thought it was amended, but
No, altered and amended. The amended is the same as far as I'm concerned.
Maria, didn't you say it was an amended motion?
The motion was further amended to add that a total of 3 opinions will be obtained to determine if the tree is or is not salvageable and if the stump would be suitable for the sculpture.
Not arguing that, what I'm arguing is like that, I've heard some people say that if the 3rd person says that it's salvageable, then there should be some consideration given to leave it there.
We could
That
decide
wasn't part of my motion.
Well, if we leave it there, it's gonna fall, but anyway, that
We could decide
arborist,
that.
I'm not an arborist by no stretch of the imagination,
So if.
but I would assure you that tree is dead. I
So
yield my time
if
back.
it's the majority decision, then I think you have a majority that says that's dead, right? Mr. Daniel?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
There needs to be removed, yes.
Okay, so why are we expending funds to have a 3rd person evaluate?
Because that was in the earlier motion
Yeah, we could decide that.
and amended,
What's it?
and amended to that.
Could we decide that when it
I'll
happens?
cross that bridge when it gets there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, we can always have another motion.
Well, we have to
Just what we
anticipate,
sit
we have to
there with,
anticipate
that
crossing
one
that
motion
bridge.
can hold just like it is, and we can have another. So I'll entertain a motion to whatever y'all wanna say about it, I'll entertain that, and we'll get finished up, and then we'll move on to other things.
I make a motion to let's wait and see what the 3 people come in.
Well, we've already got that motion in the book.
I know it, but I mean, instead of, let's see what it say, all 3 may go.
Okay,
If
here,
one of them said it could be salvageable and other two said need to go, we'll talk about that.
Well,
then.
if we got a motion, we can lay that on the table and entertain another motion next meeting.
Yeah.
Y'all wanna lay it on the table? We had a motion and a second a while ago, didn't we? Didn't we have a motion and a second? No?
Thanks, Chairman.
Well, then we free to go like, just like we are then. All right. What's the board's pleasure?
I'd make a motion that we wait and see what the three come in.
Well, we already got that motion. It's already down
We'll
pat.
make a decision then.
Okay.
But, Mr. Chairman, again.
Yes, sir.
Why are we getting a third opinion? Why are we paying for a third opinion?
Say it again.
Why are we paying for a third opinion?
Oh, that was,
We just
somebody amended the motion. It certainly wasn't me. But anyway, that's where we are today.
I think the three opinion was just, you know, like where you're getting quotes. You get three quotes, you know, it's just opinion to see if they all three come in. I mean, you know, if the two come in and say they be cut down, one say it don't, then we'll decide, we'll worry about it then. They may all three come in and say it need to be cut.
No, we have two that says it's dead, needs to be removed. Is that right, Mr. Daniel?
Sir, I'm sorry.
You have two people who've evaluated the tree.
Yes,
that
sir.
said the tree needs to be removed.
Yes, sir.
So again, question is why are we paying for a third opinion?
Because that was in the motion.
Amended the motion.
That was in what we voted for. Not that I would agree with that either. I know there others might have to pay the third one myself.
Can I?
Yes, sir, you recognize, go right ahead.
And understanding what Mr. Spires has said, if the board wanted to make a motion to accept the two opinions that we have right now and move forward with taking the tree down, then that could be a path forward if the board was willing to do that. But as it stands right now, the motion is to get three opinions.
Yeah.
Get three opinions.
You wanna make your motion for that?
Make a motion and we wait and get the third opinion.
That's already.
Well, that's already on the motion.
Yeah, but that's what it exists now, really.
We'll bring that to the next meeting, Mr. Westbrook.
Okay?
I just think it's a waste of taxpayers' dollars to do that personally.
Absolutely. Anybody in the board got anything else on the board? In the board, on top of the board?
Got something we need to
Go
vote
right
on
ahead.
that?
Go right ahead.
We need to vote on it.
Well, we didn't get a second, but at the same time, that's already in the motion from a while ago.
Okay, the question I got now, we got the manager of the city of Jacob here. She had mentioned to me a little bit ago when I was out in the audience that wanted to know if we had an ordinance of a drive-by, well, maybe not drive-by, a shooting, you know, people shooting maybe on their own property. Is that correct? Shooting on their own property or drive-by?
No, if they're shooting on their own property.
All right, but they are in the city of Jacob in a congested area, and they've been shooting, but one time a bullet went into somebody's house. Another one went to hit a tree when people were sitting out there at it. And I guess they just more or less target shooting. Is what they're probably doing. Is that what you wanna come up, explain?
Would we, yes, please come forward and talk to us. And one, thank you for coming. And, I don't know when we're gonna overstep the sheriff's rights here in the law enforcement, but you bring it forward.
Okay, I'm Diane Blunt, I'm the city manager for
Yes.
Jacob.
Yes, ma'am.
And we have had one occasion back in January the 24th where we had a shooting incident. We don't know if they were target shooting or if they were shooting in the air, but they were just randomly shooting. And it went through a resident's home across the woods. The people had just been standing in front of the cabinet. The bullet went through the house, the cabinet, out the house and into a light pole. They did report it to the sheriff's department, and as far as I know, there has been a report made. And then about 2 weeks ago, I was sitting in the office and I heard 2 gunshot wounds again. And then yesterday, the mayor and one of the council members come in and they reported to me that there was another gunshot and it occurred on Sunday. Actually, they said that there was 2 gunshots, but one went into a tree and 2 people were sitting across the street on the front porch from the tree. So we were just trying to see if there is some kind of ordinance in place other than the Florida statute that's in place. With maybe the city making an ordinance on this.
I just,
Statute would take over, would it not?
if
Mr.
I
Attorney?
can,
I'm sorry, can you ask?
Well, I said the statute, the Florida statute would take over in that case, am I right?
So some counties do allow you in certain land development uses to discharge a firearm on your own property. Typically, those are like your rural residential uses, or then if there's like a shooting range, something like that,
Oh,
they
yeah.
can do that.
Well, hunting season.
Hunting season also, so again, that's gonna deal somewhat on your acreage. Certainly, the county could pass a law that would apply in the unincorporated areas of that. If I can ask a question, do we know where was it within the city limits or was it?
It's within the city limits on their personal property. They do have, I don't know exactly the acreage, but they do have several acres there. It looks like in depth. But
So the county couldn't obviously regulate what goes on in the municipality, but we could examine, maybe bring back to all of this board to be able to bring an ordinance to you that curbs some of that, absent certain land use designation.
Is it pretty typical for cities? I know that the city has, I think, Jim, you probably could answer this, but the city has an ordinance against discharge of firearms within the city limits currently, don't they?
yes, sir, I believe so.
So, but does Jacob have an ordinance?
to my
prohibiting
knowledge, not
discharge?
currently, no.
And the county does not have anything to address that.
But the county has state statute, reckless display of firearm. You gotta go through and work the case, but they do have a state statute for that.
Right. And I know that I talked to the officer that came over yesterday, and he said that he was going to try to investigate it further to see, he did go to the residence, but no one came to the door to answer.
I think right now it would be a law enforcement issue. I think right now it'd be a law enforcement issue
Right.
unless the city, chose to enact a city ordinance.
And that is something I'm going to bring before the next council meeting next month.
Yeah, with the propensity for it being a life safety issue, I would think that would be incumbent upon the city of Jacob to pass some type of ordinance restricting the discharge of firearms within the city limits.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for coming.
Mr. Westbrook.
My apologies for the pause.
If I could, Commissioners, June the 23rd through the 26th is the annual Florida League of Cities, Florida Association of Counties annual meeting. If you're interested in signing up to attend, can see Jennifer and she'll help you with that process.
And where is it gonna be held?
It's in Orlando, I believe.
They got it under advisement commission? Be fine.
Since we got through so early, I've got about a dozen items I'd like to bring up.
That's all right. Sing it, let it, you'll get them all out. No.
I move that we not allow that.
That's good. Well, if we have anything else, Commissioner Don Poe moves to the right.